Well, hello there, and welcome to a very blustery post-hurricane Sunday afternoon here in sort of beautiful Nova Scotia today. Yes, post-hurricane, we had one yesterday. Wasn't as bad as it could be. We were just to the right side of it as it swept its way up the eastern seaboard and sort of barreled its way into Nova Scotia on the left-hand side and New Brunswick. But I got away quite lightly. Greenhouses are still standing, that's good. Excuse my voice. I had COVID last week while I was in London actually on a business trip, which was a bit annoying. So not feeling too good, but I thought I'd better get a video out because I haven't put one out for ages. And I'm in the greenhouse. There's a couple of reasons. Obviously, like I said, it's a very blustery afternoon. It's still windy, leaves are going everywhere, but things have managed to survive. My bean tunnel managed to survive, although there's some other bits and bobs, as you can see there, flopping around. So I'm in the greenhouse because it's noisy out there, and also I'm in the greenhouse because of the tomatoes. The tomatoes that for the first time ever in my greenhouse have been a total and utter flop. I've had about 6 or 7 tomatoes from all of these massive tomato plants, as you can see. You know, they've all grown to height and there's, you know, they're flowering lovely at the top here, but it's halfway through September now and that's no good to me. Within a few weeks time, temperatures are going to drop quite markedly and we could get frosts. Now the frosts won't be so bad in here, but really and truly it's not going to be good for good tomato growth. So I've made a decision, command decision as we say. I'm just going to chop the lot, get rid of them, and I'm going to replace them with some kale and broccoli that I'm hoping, maybe a little bit of basil as well, but some kale and broccoli that I'm hoping I'll be able to you know, nurse all the way into December and maybe January and keep picking then for a nice late crop. That's the plan. I've got plenty of it here, so I thought I would do that. So I thought I'd bring you along, let you know that, you know, tomatoes have been a problem. I'm not exactly sure why. I know there's been a lack of bees here in Nova Scotia, it seems, this year. I don't think it's the nutrients in the soil, because I put a brand new lot of soil in this year. It feels a bit dry, but I'm normally watering it quite well. So I'm just going to be writing it off as one of those years, and next year I'm going to pay a bit more attention to actually, you know, they can you know, tomatoes have both male and female flowers here, so you know, normally you can shape them into it, but it's just been a funny year. We had late flowers on these plants, and you know, and they just haven't produced tomatoes. So you know, you just got to write it off. See if I can learn from it next year, but I want to, you know, use the time I've got left to grow something else. So there we are. Let me get amongst it. I'm just going to chop this lot down and then we'll have a look. So what we're going to do with the kale and the broccoli. So a few of these plants have got a few tomatoes on them, so I might have a little look to see if I can save a couple, but mostly everything else is going. I'm just going to chop it off at the bottom and then that'll do me. See, I've got some string tied round these for them to grow up. I'll just cut them at the bottom of that. Yeah, it's still very windy out there. Proper blowing a hoolie, as we say in Great Britain yesterday. Very, very windy. Luckily we got away with only a few power outages. Normally we've been out for 3 days on one of the hurricanes that came up. There was only a few power outages, so that was good. Right, rubbish, that's all going. Yeah, go on. What we got here? There's a few tomatoes on here. Maybe I'll keep that. This one's died off completely, as you can see. Right, I'll carry on getting this out because this is uninteresting, and then we'll get to the broccoli and the kale. So I've done the usual routine of forgetting exactly what the type of vegetables are, but I think this is Waltham something or another, and I can't remember what this kale is, although it doesn't look very much like kale to me, but I'm planting it either way. And it looks quite healthy, so I'm just gonna, it's a bit of an experiment this, growing this stuff indoors. Now obviously broccoli and kale etc don't like massively warm temperatures, and it's middle of September. I could still get some pretty warm, oh that one's broke, warm days etc, so I'm going to make sure I keep the greenhouse door open and then marshal them through there, and then I should have some nice crops to go with my Christmas dinner. So let's get these out. It's broke, and I'm just going to plant them as usual, about a foot apart, and they should be alright. So this, I've got to make sure as well that I keep this soil nice and moist, well watered, because you don't want these drying out, because like with any chance of heat and being dry, they'll run to seed quite quickly, so I want to try and avoid that. So let me just plant these out and then we can have a finish up. So there we go, a load of kale and a load of broccoli. Just normal. Like I said though, this is a bit of an experiment, so I've got another load, a few more here and there, that I'm going to plant outside in a moment, and then that's your normal way, and normally you know that you're going to get a good crop planting them up at this time of year if I give them a little bit of protection later on. But here we go. Keep these well watered, keep the greenhouse door open until it starts getting cool, and then they'll have the protection of the greenhouse and they should grow on nicely for a nice crop for me around Christmas time. So I think the moral of today's video is, you know, things go wrong, things fail, but let's try and learn from them, and just got to crack on, haven't you? Try something new and make the best of a bad situation. So even though my tomatoes failed, it's given me an opportunity to get some kale and broccoli in, nicely settled for when it cools down, and then they can grow on nicely for Christmas. Job's a good one.